Hey folks, B59 here. Welcome back to our Piasa transport playthrough of Transport Fever 2. This is probably going to be the last build episode we do. The hope is that while we have a fairly long punch list that Eliza left us, that we'll be able to complete it in this episode. So, we're sitting here at the North Trans Stop in New Orleans, and this is the area that Eliza identified first as needing some work. She noted, and we'll see this as we back out here, that the north end of New Orleans is what has expanded. And she thinks that what we need to do is put some more tram spots to cover this area up here, because currently this is as far north as we go. She also asked us to consider putting a station in up here. But as we look at this, I'm really wondering whether a station is necessary. We're able to keep up here. It's not like we have people piling up or vehicles that are backing up or anything like that. We don't need extra stops. In terms of extra lines for them to pull into, we just need some extensions of the existing line. So what I'm thinking here is that we can put a stop here and a stop here, and then and so that the line will then run kind of like this and around. And then vice versa, because it is, of course, a two-stop shop. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put a couple of stops right in here. And these, and before we actually put them in, let's go ahead and upgrade. Or actually, this is what we want to do. We want to convert this to tram lines, and this, and this. And why isn't it showing these others as already being... tram lines? Yeah, it looks right, so we're going to just accept that for now. And then we will go into the buildings and go ahead. I guess maybe I had it upgrade. I had the upgrade. And we'll put a couple of stops here. And we'll put a couple of stops here. And then we'll put a couple of stops here. And then we will reconfigure first our New Orleans lines. And this is the counterclockwise line. And so what we're going to tell it to do is, as it's coming up this way and goes past sunset, we're going to add a station here. Station here, and a station here, and that adds in now coverage for this area of New Orleans. And then we'll make the same sort of change on the clockwise run, except this time what we want to do is we're going from here to here to here, and then after 3 we want to add this new station, this new station, and this new station. And then the only other question we have is, do we want to change the location of the existing drop-off for the tram that goes up to Baton Rouge? And I'm going to say no, because it looks to me like it gets people closer to the heart of town without having an extra stop or two. And it looks like a perfectly fine place. So we're just going to go ahead and leave that where it is. And we can check off the first item on Eliza's punch list. She also noted that the New Orleans clockwise line needs its trams updated. So this also is going to be pretty easy to take care of. We're going to go into manage vehicles. We're going to replace the vehicles with the horse-drawn streetcar USA. And voila, we now have item 2 on the checklist configured. Now the next item she identified is that we need a second drop-off, or a second dock for drop-offs at the New Orleans Industrial Wharf. And if I recall correctly, there are 2 lines here, one going up to New Orleans and Shreveport, and one going to Tulsa. And the Tulsa line is the larger line. So I think, well, do we really need to do this, Eliza? As Eliza wondered during the last episode, is the backup that she was observing here due to too many boats trying to use this line, or was it due to the fact that previously she had requested that a bunch of boats be added to the Tulsa line, and that those coming out of the warehouse here, or rather the shipyard, might very well have been backed up? As we look here, we're not seeing any boats backed up. And when we look at the rates, we see a 4-minute rate for the Shreveport line and a 143-second, almost 2-minute rate for the Tulsa line. So basically, if we look at those two together, it means that we're going to be getting a new boat dropping off here no more than once every minute. And that seems like once a month is fine. So you know what, Eliza, we're gonna report back that after looking into this further, we don't think that we need to update that wharf, and so we're gonna call it good. Now, having said that, what are these boats doing? Are these waiting? No, they're not waiting. They're moving. They're moving. So yeah, we're gonna call that good, and then we'll just go ahead and check that off and move on to the next item, number 4. The Lake Charles bus service is inadequate, and she would like us to extend the route. And Lake Charles is not a very big town, but I think what she's seeing here is that we've got a lack of coverage over here. And while we have coverage here, it's not the best. And so what I think we want to consider here is a couple of things. Let's see, first of all, yeah, those are connected. What I'm wondering is whether we want to, yeah, we're going to enhance the station as part of this upgrade. And we're going to pause for a second, and we will, we're going to be knocking out a bunch of buildings there if we do this. What if we were to do a little road trick? And we don't want to upgrade, we just want to build a road. What if we were to put this in? Yeah, go that way. We go this way. We delete. Let's try this. Then let's try this. And this. Now what happens if we go into this configuration? Oops, that's the wrong thing. We want to select this and configure it. And we want to put a street access. Ooh, will that? That's going to be pretty ugly, isn't it? Let's see. We do have connections. It's not the prettiest. Are we even able to connect that up? Oh. You know, I think we're going to actually get a little more radical here. We're going to knock this out. We're going to knock this out. We're going to come into here to our buildings, and we're going to put a new one of these in. Just it a little bit more like that, and we will go into this, configure it, and put our street access here, and then come back out to the build mode and see if we can connect this up in a more pretty way. Not gorgeous, but not bad. And then we have to figure out how to get a little bit of access here. And maybe here we do this. Will this work? That won't. That is weird. Let's just pause a minute on that. Well, that kind of works. So people can walk that way. And maybe we'll leave it at that. So now we have at least a better way to start our access here. This picked up our line. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add some new bus stops. I think we'll keep it a single line, but we'll add a stop here, move this one down here, come over here, and then to here. And then that'll be a more logical line. So let's go ahead and start with this. And we will start putting in some stops here. We'll put one in here. Put one in. One in here already. Yep, we're going to do it here. We're going to take this stop out. Yeah, we're going to take that out. And we're gonna put a new one in here. Yeah. And now, what does this line look like? It looks terrible. So, which direction is it going? It's going this way. So from 1, we're going to manage this line. And from 1, we're going to add our new station here. And then we're going to add our new station here. And we're going to delete 4. And then after 4, we're going to add it back in here. And so now we have better coverage around the city. It's a small town. We've only got how many buses on this line? 2. We're going to give it 1 more because we've been big in the line a bit. And so So we will clone these, and then for all of them, we're going to improve the maintenance. Like that. Okay, so that takes care of number 4 with the bus service being inadequate. And now comes an interesting one. And this one is that the Lake Charles food processing plant needs more grain. And as Eliza noted last time, there are not any other farms nearby. Well, we need 2 farms because today, if we look at the suppliers here, we only have 2 farms. They're supplying a total of 400 grain, which turns into 200 food. And we have 4 consumers that together need over 400. We can look, if we go to look at each one of these at Baton Rouge, we see that it wants 118 food. Vicksburg wants 111. Jackson wants 113. And Lake Charles itself wants 48. So we need a total really of 800 grain coming in to be able to supply 400 food. So that means we have to find 2 more farms. There's one farm here that we can add. It's not super conveniently located for river transport, but we're missing another farm. There just aren't any other available farms in the vicinity. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go recruit another farmer. And I think what we're going to try to do is put him here, see if he can connect up to this line, and then we can just add a whole bunch more boats to this line to accommodate both of these farms coming down and picking up grain here, taking them down here to Lake Charles, picking up food, then dropping it off at Baton Rouge and Vicksburg, and then coming back up here again. So that looks like a pretty good way to manage this issue, and hopefully we'll be able to get the farm close enough to the harbor that we can avoid having an additional truck route. And then for this farm up here, we'll come to that in a minute. For now, let's just deal with this first one. And what we'll do is I'm going to take this road out and this road out. You can take it off pause. And this road out, and maybe a little bit of this, because I want to try to see if we can position this farm. And you'll see I've added sandbox mode this episode just so that we could add this farm in. And if we put this here, first of all, I don't think we can actually connect these. But if we put this here, and then we try to connect this road up. It's awful close, but let's see if we can make it work. Are we going to get coverage? And it looks like we do. Both of these are lit up. And it's showing now that we have a consumer in Lake Charles food processor. So that takes care of that right away. We're going to go ahead and clean up this road as well, just so that we have a complete connection. And that took care of that end, at least adding the additional farm, or the first of the 2 farms. But now we need to increase the number of boats so that we can keep up now. So our current line on Lake Charles Food only has a rate of 177. It should be closer to 200 even with that first farm. So we're going to need to at least double the number of vehicles. We have 5 there today. I'm going to say we're going to end up with 12. So we're going to come into here and we're going to go ahead and clone all of these vehicles. And then we're going to see what that does to our rate. It added it up to 354. Let's add 2 more. And that gets us up to 425. So that's going to be adequate now to not only... is that really going to be adequate? It's going to be enough to take all of the food down, 425 grain down. But it's only... Oh no, that'll be fine. It's going to need to carry about 300 food back. And so that'll be perfect. That'll be just perfect. So we have fixed that bit, but now we need to add in a second farm to really bring this food processing plant up to full production. And what we're going to do here, again, as we kind of heard before, Eliza has taken to heart the information she's gotten from Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, about trains being the future. And she realizes that as she looks at this particular route, that, yeah, she gets it. The train is a very short route from here to here. And if you take it by river transport, it's got to come down to here. It's got this windy route down to here, and then it's got to get on the train to go up to here. So she thinks that, you know, it's time to get with the future. And she's going to go ahead and put another train in. And this is kind of the capstone of this series, because what we were exploring was the golden age of steamboats. And now that age is passing. And it's time for the trains to take over. And we're going to do that right now. And it's really the beginning of a new era for Piasa transport. So let's get to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a train station in here. We're going to make it long, not 320, but 240 meters. Because those southern farmers love working in meters. And we can drop one right here. And then we'll put another train station down here, because we don't really have a good way to get to our existing train station. And it's already running pretty full. So if we put a new one here, well, it doesn't really matter where we can connect it up. Let's see, we just want it to be a fairly straight shot. So if we put it right here, again, 240, it is a cargo station. Can't believe I got that right. So we'll drop it in. And before we forget, we're going to go ahead and make the road connection. And that looks like we got our tentacles. Let's see. Yep. And so now we just need to add our track. So we will go to the track here. We do have one bridge we've got to do. Let's see, that looks pretty good. So we're going to do that, and then we will come across. Now, this is a bridge that we have to make sure has enough elevation to maintain navigation up the Red River. And it doesn't have it there, so let's see, can we just... Is that too much, Bo? No, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. So we'll put that in there. We've maintained navigation so that the boats can get up to Shreveport. And we will accept that. And then we will get the rest of our track in. This river, there is no navigation. We don't have to worry about the bridge there. And we will put that in like that. Now, we don't have a connection to this depot here, the train depot. So we're going to put a second train depot in. And we'll get it in, well, you know what, let's get our track off first. Get a bit of track off for this. And we'll make it level. Take that and get our depot in here. Yep. And then this little train is only going to be taking grain from here at Vicksburg Farm down to the food processing plant. So it is going to need gondolas. So we will get a mogul. It's going to have to carry 200. So it doesn't have to be super big. We'll see if we can get by with one engine. And let's see. Yeah, I haven't. You can go ahead and buy it. I can't put it on a line yet because I didn't create the line. So let's go ahead and create the line. New line. Going to be grain colored. And it's going to pick up grain at Vicksburg West. And at Lake Charles West, it's going to unload grain. And we will name it the shunt, although it's not really a shunt. Well, that's kind of a shunt. It's not a main line or anything. And we'll call it the Lake Charles Grain. And now we can go ahead and get this train on that. And we can also take a look at it to see already got food weight, and it has a rate of 229. We're going to leave that as it is. I think that'll be fine. It'll make sure that it's getting full. And now what we have done is we have connected up a total of 800 grain to go into this Lake Charles food processing plant. 400 from up here, and this route will carry 400. 200 from here, and this line will carry 200, and then 200 from here. And where this takes us now is, well, first of all, before we get to increasing this train, we see that the next item on the punch list was that the deliveries is inadequate. So we're going to go ahead and add some more trucks to this line. What we know is that Lake Charles wants 51 bricks and 55 bread. Those are both being delivered by this same line. And so we need to get our rate up to well over 100. So let's make it so that we have 5 vehicles on this line. And so we will clone, and we'll add one more, and then we'll look at the maintenance and bring these up as well since they're running through town. And now we turn to the last item on the list, and this one is a bit of a tricky one. It's this Lake Charles grain brick food train not keeping up. And it's tricky for a couple of reasons. One is it's a grain brick food train, so it has 3 different types of cargo, all of which require a different type of carriage. So we have to have 3 different kinds of carriages, and each direction, at least one of the types of carriages is going to be empty. The other thing that has made this tricky is that the prior branch manager, we're not going to take the blame ourselves as the current branch manager, but the prior branch manager screwed up the signaling. And this is something that we're surprised Eliza didn't notice. But what we have here is a signal down here, so the train, when it leaves this station, it will come down here and wait for this to empty. But what happens here is, as this train fills up and turns around, what we'll see is that it ends up waiting to enter this track. It's waiting for a free path. And okay, why is it waiting for a free path? It could easily get up here, and instead it's spending all of its time waiting. And it's going to end up waiting until this train turns around and comes around and completely clears this area again. So it's really slowing things down. What we see here is that we have currently a frequency of 3 minutes. So that's exactly 3 minutes 0 seconds. So every 3 months, 4 times a year, the trains make their path. Now, let's see what happens if we correct the signaling here. And the signaling here is kind of a mess for a bunch of reasons. One, we have this signal that was originally installed, this one-way signal here, to allow new trains to come out of the depot without interfering with the trains that are already here. But it's kind of a mess. It's right in the middle of the track, and it's interfering with the track. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to delete this signal if we can highlight it. We should be able to. There we go. We had it. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and put a second signal in here. And now what'll happen is that these trains will get a better start. So this train already is way down here, and the other one is having to catch up. It didn't have a good chance because it was waiting for the other train. So I don't know how long it's going to take for this to ripple into the line. It'll probably take going through a pickup or drop off and pickup before we see the impact. But it should have an impact. And so let's speed things up a little bit and see if it does make a difference after these trains drop off and pick up. So what we should see down here is this train is no longer waiting. No, it's going to head and started its way back while this other one is still unloading and reloading. And we haven't seen any appreciable difference here in the rate or in the frequency. I thought we would have seen a difference because this line is now running more efficiently. But at least so far we're not seeing that difference. Let's let it run one more cycle through. It might be that it's trying to drive some separation again between the lines. Let the other one go down and do its thing too. And no, it has not had any appreciable difference in the about 2 minutes and 47 seconds. It's knocked a little bit of time off, but not any huge amount. This kind of surprises me. I thought that this would have driven more efficiency in the line. It was at 3 minutes 0 seconds, and now it's at 2 minutes and 47 seconds. And 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Yeah, so it is slowly making a difference here. I think what's happening is the trains are trying to separate themselves. So let's let this run a couple times because we do want to get a fairly accurate sense of the frequency here, because it's going to really impact the number of carriages we need to add to support the different types of cargo. So we're going to let it go 1 or 2 more times just to see if we... Oh, now we're down to 149 seconds. So yeah. It's having a difference. So it's down to 149 seconds. I think that we're gonna let it go one more time, and if it doesn't change, we're gonna accept that as the new normal. And what that means is that it'll be about 2 minutes. 149 seconds is 146 seconds. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go back to normal speed here. I think we're going to take this 146 seconds and say that is the new normal. And what that means is that in a given year, that is 2 months and let's see, 120. So it's about it's almost 3 months. 120, so 2 months and 26 days. So it's going to be a little bit faster than it was before. And that means that we need to basically plan on roughly 4.5 to 5 stops a year. And so when we look at each of these, and let's take the hard one first, which is the grain. And let's say we want to change these lines. So each of these gondolas carries 7 grain. And so if it is going to go 4 times a year, that means it'll carry 28 grain a year. If it's going to go 5 times, that means it would carry 35. So let's just assume it's going to carry 30 a year. We need it to carry 600 grain a year. So that means that we need basically 20 cars, 20 carriages on each of these vehicles, 20 gondolas on each of these vehicles to bring it up to capacity. So let's go ahead and add 6 gondolas to each of these vehicles. So oops, crap. I always hit the wrong buttons here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And down here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gosh, lost them both, huh? Let's see. Thank you, autosave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll modify those, and now we have 20 gondolas on each of those vehicles. And then for the food, we need to carry about 340 food to support Jackson, Vicksburg, and Baton Rouge. And so for that, when we look at these boxcars, they also carry 7. So we're going to assume they are going to carry 30 a year as well. And so that means they're going to need 30 divided by 5. Let's say 30 times 5, 150. They're going to need 10 a year. They're going to need 10 each. So they need 4 more. My God, this is hard math. 2, 3, 4. Actually, they're going to need more than that. They're going to need 5 altogether. 4. 11. And then the same down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we also are going to need 1 more brick car per train. So let's get those added. And then let's see what that does. Are they going to fit? And the answer is no, they're not going to fit. So we're going to have to change our switching here as well. So let's knock this back. And we're going to take it back a little farther. And we're going to put a track in here. And hopefully that will be far enough. Well, we will find out shortly. Put another signal in here too. And then we probably need to do the same at the other end, and indeed we do. We can see it's backed up there. So let's go ahead and take that out and that out. Move this back a bit. And then put some track in here. Get up to about at least 42. There you go. Get another signal in. That's a waypoint. Let's put a signal. And let's make sure that our routing looks good. It does. So let's restart and see if our vehicles fit. And it looks like that one does. Barely. And that one looks like it does as well. Oh, I got both. Oh crap. You know what? We're going to have to change these. Let's go here. Ended up putting both of the black cars on the same train. Let's fix that. Actually, that might change what we were seeing before in terms of lengths as well. So we're gonna speed up here, check our lengths. I think we may not fit anymore, but we'll give it a try. If we don't, we can just simply change it. Not a big deal. We got a train coming in? Here we go. And here we go. Gonna make it. I think we need to go a little further out. I don't think that's quite good. Nope. So let's try one more. That should be plenty of room. And really, we don't need it to be too close there. And I think we probably need to do the same here. That's just too close. I mean, these are just basically a passing lane is really all we need here. And so, doesn't have to be, there we go. Put a signal in there. And now let's try it again. And And when you come around, oh yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Oh yeah, same here. Okay, so that is good. And I will just watch this one come in one more time. And I think that we can now say, though, that we have fixed the last item on Eliza's list. We've added carriages to meet demand for cargo on this Lake Charles train. Oh yeah, plenty of room now. And what about the other end? Plenty of room as well. So that really brings us to the conclusion of this series. And what I think we'll do is we're going to hop on one of our barges here. And this is our Lake Charles food barge. Wait a second, why has it got food? Oh, it's only got 35 grain. It needs to... Are you not... Wait a minute, what happened? You were connected and now you're not? I thought when we checked this earlier we were connected. Do we need to connect another road here? Will that get us our connection? Oh my gosh, we had the connection before. Did we lose it when we added this back in? Oh no! Oh no, we have them both. They're both connected. So now is it showing the... Why isn't it? Oh, there we go. Now we're good. Okay. All right. So back to our boat. So we're good. We've basically accomplished what we set out to do in this series, and that was to explore the golden age of steamboats on the Mississippi River. Figure out if transport fever could actually run such a beast. Could it really support a heavy-duty river transport system up and down the Mississippi River? And it does. I do want to give a special shout out and thanks to Brick177 for this map that he created of the Old Man River, Mississippi River. It's a beautiful map. It's been a joy to play. Very well set up to be able to support what we wanted to do here. It had all of the major cities. It had all of the goods appropriately placed that we could set up and really take advantage of. We've got a strong passenger network. We have a strong cargo network. And we've made a lot of money. I don't pay a lot of attention to the money, you may have noticed in the series, because I don't think it's really very meaningful. To me, the important thing is, are we making money? Are we able to sustain ourselves? Are we able to grow our business? And we have been able to do that. So, you know, that's been a success. It's been a lot of fun seeing these boats go up and down the river. I really enjoy watching them like we are today here. And I've had a blast. I don't know if I'm going to do another YouTube playthrough. I have an idea for one that I might do. I no longer live in the Midwest. I now live out on the West Coast. And I've got an idea for a historically accurate playthrough that I may do. But we'll see about that. I got to take a break. I also, if I'm going to do this other one, will need to do some work to get it ready to manage that, to create the map, etc. But I've thoroughly enjoyed this series. I hope you have as well. And I hope to see you again. Thank you.